It was good.
That's
It
what's
was
up.
good. Weather getting better here, which I know is beautiful there, but the weather getting better here.
Okay. Yeah, it's been we always get nice weather. It's been doing a lot of raining though. I told my wife, I said when it get a lot of rain, well, it's gonna rain anyway. But I'm just saying when it get a little cooler, the wind blows. I say, okay, that means it's a little colder on the southeast side.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
it's cold at night. Like it's like 34, 35 degrees, and then noon it it pops up and it be 60 degrees.
yeah. All right, man, we're gonna give it a try. Um, so today we're talking about is the NFL racist? What's going on, brother?
Not a whole lot, not a whole lot.
Okay, so I felt compelled to talk about this subject. Is the NFL racist? So before we begin, 70% of the players, NFL players, are black. If you look up coaches right now, they will say minority coaches. And I don't like that word minority when it comes to black treatment, treating blacks fair, because that word is watered down. It's a tricky word, and the black politicians should have never allowed to use this word. But it's all about laws and how they use words. That word minority. So if you look it up, you will see they will have three minority coaches. They will tell you about Mike Tomlin, Robert Saleh, and Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera is of Hispanic descent. Robert Saleh, if I'm pronouncing his last name correct, he is of Lebanese descent, the one that coaches the Jets. So Tomlin, the coach for the Steelers, um, he's a black coach. And so as I was inspired to talk about this because just recently the Miami Dolphins fired a head coach that was black,
Brian Flores.
Brian Flores. Now, I get it. If you got a losing season, it's business. I get that part. But he was over 500. So technically speaking, even though they didn't go to the playoffs, they had a winning season. They were 9-8. So, Mr. Flores has been on different platforms for the last couple of weeks, saying, making statements about that he was told to tank the season. He was told to tank the season so they can get draft picks, and not to mention he would get incentivized for tanking the season. So he's going to get paid for screwing the season up so they can get better draft picks. Flores also stated on several platforms that that's not a man of that's not who he is. That's not a part of his character. That's not a part of his DNA. And so he stood his ground. And so now Mr. Flores has filed a lawsuit. He's filed a lawsuit against the NFL, claiming racial discrimination. So let's talk about it. Do the NFL has a racial problem?
I would say yes. one of the now he is suing the NFL, and he's also open it up for other coaches who who's been through the same thing, and it's a lot of them that are coming out. Hugh Jackson was one who spoke on when he was coaching with the Cleveland Browns, and he was just talking about how he didn't realize that they wanted him to lose. He said, but every year, when it came to draft picks, when it came to salary cap and everything, they were so excited that upper management was excited on just the cap space that they was able to have. And he went 1-33, and they gave him an extension. That's when he realized, like, wait a minute, they're not trying to win. Right. They just want me to lose so that they could get more cap space and get draft picks.
Right.
And then when he realized, he went to the NFL, he went to Roger Goodell and told him, hey, this is what they're doing. He said they went to arbitration and everything. He said, but because the team was so terrible, they didn't do nothing about it because they was so bad. Their record was so bad. It was like, you just got to draft better. You just got to get better coaches. You got to get these guys to play better. You got to get better players. So they swept it up under the rug.
Right.
He went to the NFL and told them what the owners and everything was doing. And he's one of the guys who backed, Brian Flores on what's going on right now.
So he just came up to his he just came up to defend him recently to back up his statement.
Probably about a week ago. If you go on ESPN, just type in Hugh Jackson interview, he talks about just what was going on, and there's several coaches that are coming up, saying the exact same thing. They just, which we so Dan, you break down. Could you break down as far as how the process is of hiring Black coaches? And what?
No, I won't say. I don't know the breakdown, but I do know the Rooney Rule. The Rooney Rule was designed by the Pittsburgh Steelers owner, one of the best owners in the league. Anyway, so he came up with this rule because he realized that there was a problem. He identified the problem, so he brought it to the table years ago.
I think it was 2006 when it came into effect. I think.
I'm not sure, but what I do know is every year they're supposed to bring in at least interview at least 2 or 3 minorities.
Yeah, when the job is open. When the job is open.
When the job opens, you're gonna open your door for interview for at least 2 or 3 minorities. Mm-hmm. But again, to me, that's just, it's playing a game. It's kind of it's very manipulative, and at the same time, I guess and then the flip side of that coin is it almost like it's damn near like they had to put it in place like affirmative action or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's almost like, all right, we gonna take a look at you. We may not hire you.
Even though we're not interested in you.
Yeah.
But because the policy said I need to pick somebody to come here for an interview. Come on.
So let me tell you how that played out in New York with the Giants. So
the who?
The Giants.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, the 4-time Super Bowl.
I thought you said the midgets. But go ahead.
I said the Giants, the 4-time Super Bowl champs. That's what I'm talking about. So they were supposed to interview him on Friday, to bring him, to give him a chance to see if he will qualify for the job.
Right.
What happened was, that Wednesday he got a text from New England's head coach, Belichick.
Yeah, I saw that.
And
Yeah, I saw
Belichick,
that.
yeah, so Belichick
Got the wrong.
sent him a text saying congratulations
Mm-hmm.
on receiving the head coach job. And he was like, did you mean to text me? Because he used to work with Belichick.
Right.
He used to work with Belichick. But apparently he didn't put in his phone you know, Black Brian, White Brian. Black Brian, White Brian, because he
Right,
called
right,
the wrong Brian. And
right.
well, he texted the wrong Brian. But they told him that that was Wednesday. So that Friday he was supposed to have an interview with the Giants, and the Giants had told him, we really look forward to, seeing, interviewing you or whatever, and give you a chance, to see if we want to hire you. Now I look at it like this, Daniel. That Friday was basically going to be like the end of all the interviews as far as with teams trying to find coaches. So it's one way you could look at them saying, okay, they was blowing smoke up his butt, or you could look at them like, we already have our coach, but we don't want to go against protocol with the NFL has in place, you know what I'm saying, and
Right.
likely, something like this pop up. So they already had their coach. They knew who they wanted.
Right, right. He was already, they were just going through the motion.
So I hate the way they now I understand why he's upset, because you lied to me. You blew smoke all in my, up my butt. It had me thinking that, you was gonna give me a fair chance. But
Right.
that's because I feel they was going by protocol. But on the other hand, the fans, and I read an article and they was talking about how the owners and management understand how hard it is to coach in New York. Like, New York is one of them cities, it's hard to coach in there. And if you're not good, they're gonna give you slack. And if you are, in the article was just saying that, black coaches go in there, they expect them to win immediately. Unlike they'll give, other coaches a fair chance, give them 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, maybe 6 years, maybe 10, 8 years. Now I will say that the Giants had they had I didn't forgot my train of thought. General manager for 10 years, from 2007 to 2017. Jerry Reese, he was with them, and he brought them 2 Super Bowls. So yeah, you can argue and say, that the Giants is, racist or whatever, but for them to have a manager, general manager for that long, I don't know. But I will say the NFL collectively, yes, I think it's a lot of things that's going on that, that you can justify.
Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, the last time I checked, I want to say out of all the NFL teams, I think the Giants never had a starting black quarterback
or a head coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was huge. I was like, damn.
And at that those 2 positions right there, them fans is hard. They are.
But the thing about it though, excuse me. But the thing about it though, what you were saying, you're saying it's hard, but at the same time, I look at it from a different side. True enough, New York is a big city, it's a hard city. I get that the fans are rough on you, but it's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. It's about the face of the organization.
Oh yeah, I agree.
It's about that face represents that entire city.
I agree.
And so it's all about, to me, it's all about the mindset of the owner, and it's all about the geographical location, what's going on in that area. Like, what's going on, like, but New York shouldn't at this point, New York shouldn't have that problem. I'm gonna say that. The Giants shouldn't even have this problem. And I'm not saying you got to hire somebody, a black quarterback, just because he's black, but there is enough talent throughout the years where even if you didn't get the quarterback, a coach should have came through. You still got some coaches now. There's some coaches behind his name is Bieniemy. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right.
Eric Bieniemy.
They haven't even his name ain't even surfaced. And they saying he's jam up.
Well, I know. Go ahead, Danny.
No, go ahead. You go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, Brian, not Brian. He was the offensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay. Leftwich. Yeah. He used to be our quarterback. No, I don't think he quarterback. Did he quarterback?
Yeah, Leftwich was a quarterback with the Steelers, but initially he was a quarterback with Jacksonville.
Jaguar. That's who he drafted.
Yeah, Jaguars, not Jacksonville. Jacksonville Jaguars.
This is the thing with Leftwich and Eric Bieniemy. The difference is Leftwich calls all the plays. He doesn't get he don't call up to the booth and none of that. He calls the plays from the sideline directly to the quarterback. Eric Bieniemy, on the other hand, he look at the play, he call a play, he makes sure up there that's what they see, and then he doesn't have full control. Which I'm not saying that he can't get out there and coach, because his mindset is off the charts.
Yeah, so just to piggyback off of that, so the NFL, in my mind, they think they're slick. They think they can't, don't nobody see exactly what they're doing. It's like they throw the stone and hide their hand. Mm-hmm. So they fired the black coach from the Texans, which he had a losing season. He deserved to be fired. But they went out. Now we just mentioned that these other guys is already active. They're already standing behind. They're already in the league active. They just in different positions behind the head coach. And so what the Texans do, they go and get Lovie Smith. Lovie Smith been sitting on the couch for how long, Clay? I want to say at least a good 10 years. I'm gonna say 7. Lovie ain't been out there in a minute.
Yeah, Lovie was coaching. He was assistant coaching with
He been sitting down for a minute though. Cleve, it's been a minute.
I don't know about that, Daniel. I think he was recently coaching. I think he was assistant coaching for that team, if I'm not mistaken. And they moved him up. I may be wrong, but I believe he was assistant coaching for that team. Yeah, I believe so.
Coach for the Texans?
For either the Texans or another team.
Let me say this. I think you're right, but I think he has not been a head coach. He hadn't even been in the head coach thing in quite some time. Let me say that.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
So I think they brought him in to try to counter. To me, they tried to counter, soften the blow of the lawsuit that's coming down the pipeline.
Yeah,
that's just me.
Yeah, and I look at like Robert Goodell. He did a press conference just talking about we got to do better, we got to do this, we got to do that. To me, is corny, and the reason why I say that because they get on players hard. The NFL get on players hard. They don't never say we have to do better. They punish that player if he does one thing wrong or if he make a mistake. And it ain't because the thing is the lawsuit they call out 3 teams. They call out Denver, they call out Miami, and they call out New York. Is anything gonna happen? No. From what Hugh Jackson said, he already confronted Roger Goodell about this years ago, and nothing was done. So I don't think the way that interview went tells me that they're not gonna do anything. But a player, oh yeah, they will go directly after a player. Yeah, it's just like the job. It's just like the jobs out here. Corporations. It's the same way. It's no different because this is their job. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
It's structured different. I agree. That's true.
The same thing. It's nothing different. It's just that you look at the money and you say, "Woo, these guys is making all these millions." But if you
Right.
look at the money that they making off these guys, off these players.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And
You can,
another thing, yeah.
Go ahead, Dan. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say another thing that runs parallel is with the corporate world is these coaches, even if they get fired, they get another job like that.
Oh yeah, they do. They do.
They get another job like that. I mean, as soon as they get fired, I mean they be fired for like 2-3 weeks. Someone be fired for a week, 4 days or 3 days, and boom, he's off to another team. So they stay employed is what I'm saying. They stay employed. They keep those guys employed. When a black guy coach and he get fired, it's hard for him to go to another team, but they don't want that coach, or maybe they don't want that black coach. You see what I'm saying?
Or if he does come back coaching, he's gonna be dropped down to to the Lions coach.
Please.
Like Lovie Smith. I see it was sad to see him go from head coach to defensive back coach. I'm like, how you do that to this man? And it was mind blowing. Even with the quarterback, the same thing with the quarterbacks. I think about your boy who was playing for Chicago Bears. He was trash, and he ended up going home, sitting on the couch, and I think Miami. Yeah, Miami.
So that's where I'm at.
Cutler ended up retiring, going home, sitting on the couch, and then poof, Miami called him and told him, "Come on, man, we need you to come play." And they had several quarterbacks who was in the league, several quarterbacks who was available to play.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know what
so
happened.
That's what I'm at with. That's where I'm at with it. They get second opportunities. When black coach get fired, when the black coach get fired, it's hard for him to relocate. Don't nobody want him. Other cities don't want him. But I think these decisions also, it'll never be revealed truly. We'll never hear the full story. But I think a lot of these decisions are help made because of the demographic mindset of the fans in each particular city.
Oh yes.
They get on the phone and say, "Hey, I'll take my season pass, and I won't be coming here no more." So it's all driven by money.
That's
why driven by money.
That's why I made the point as far as New York. Like New York is one of them states. They listen. They will run you up out of there. They will. They'll run you up out of there.
I believe you got those diehard fans, and they do petitions. That you know nothing about, and they'll say, "Hey, I'm telling you right now, I got 100 people sign this petition right now." Or what? I'm just using a number. They might say I got 10,000. They might say it's 10,000 of us. I'm telling you right now, you hire that damn black coach. We out of here. It's empty.
Daniel, I'm gonna go as far as to say, I'm gonna go as far as say politicians don't even want that to happen. They listen. The chief of police be like, we can't. Like politicians. I mean, they have so much power in New York that they're not gonna have that because I mean they're not gonna give that person a fair chance to fail. They just not.
Right.
Just not. Soon as you fail, and listen. Let me say this: Eli was a great quarterback, but it got to a point where
I don't know. I disagree, but go ahead.
He's 2-time Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, 2 times badass defense. But go ahead.
But did you see his stats? Do you see his stats in the postseason? He holds several records, Dan. We ain't gonna sit up there and argue about that.
Brother Cleve, we'll talk about that another day. Hey, we'll talk about that another day. We'll talk about that another day.
We will. Eli holds several stats for postseason. Anyway, but I think they kept him too long.
Yeah.
And see, when McAdoo bench Eli, which he shouldn't have did it the way he did it, but I agree he should have benched Eli because he broke Eli's consecutive record of playing, consecutive games of playing. I think it was 200 and something games, whatever. But he broke that record. But I don't think that Eli. I think they should have got rid of Eli long, 5-6 years before he retired because the game had changed. It was more of a mobile quarterback, and them defensive ends and them linemen are faster and quicker. You could thank Michael Vick for that. Michael Vick is the reason why linebackers look the way they look and move the way they move because.
Okay. I hear you, but let's not get sidetracked.
No. I'm just saying, but my point of saying that was, they kept Eli too long. He should have been gone. If it would have been another quarterback, they'd have got rid of him a long time ago. Yeah, they'd have got rid of him.
Do you think that the New York Giants organization, do you think they will ever hire a black head coach?
It just depends on.
This is a two question. And do you think they will ever hire a black quarterback?
Let me say this. Depending on how all this court hearings and everything go, depending on how everything falls, will determine whether they're gonna hire. Because if they don't have to, they won't. Now, if they have to, they will. But if they don't have to, they won't. They just won't. They listen. The quarterback we got now, this man came from Duke. Duke has never been known to have great quarterback. We got him in the first round. I think it was a favor, and this is just how NFL is. I think it was a favor from the general manager and the owner to get this boy from Duke because he matter of fact, he only had 1 year that the boy even played good, but he was terrible. But they scratch each other back and they keep it in-house. And I think that's what's happened. I think that's why this dude is here because we had a chance to get a great quarterback. But guess what? He was black.
So we're going to bring this thing to a close. So we're going to try to end it on a more thoughtful note. Do you think things will get better as far as black coaches in the NFL, black head coaches, and what can we do to make it better?
Do I think it'll get better? Like I said, this how everything plays out in court would definitely change the way they do hiring. Now, whether it's going to be better as far as how they're going to be treated, I don't know about that. But as far as the hiring process, I think that will get better. I think they're gonna, if like I said, how this play out in court. And what was the second question, Daniel?
I said, how do you think what is your solution to making things better?
I think they need to start. I think promoting within, because if you look at it, most teams have at least 2 or 3 coordinators. Black coordinators. I think they should promote within. So if you've been with a defensive coordinator for 10 years, you need to get the opportunity, to coach that team because you know the fans, the community, because these coaches do more than just coach. They be part of the community. So I think they really need to start promoting these coaches, within. Yeah, just promote. And it makes sense. It makes sense for you to promote the coach. Once you leave, another coach step up. You know what I'm saying? Once that coach leave, another coach step out instead of going all the way.
But that's not how it works. What happens?
I know that's not how it works. But you asked me what would be the solution?
Right. But what happens is the head coach he bring his coaches with him. That's how it's normally worked.
Yeah,
they don't leave nobody. They don't leave nobody there. It's basically okay. So if I get a job, that means you got a job because I'm gonna put you in as the quarterback coach. And you're gonna do this. And you gonna do. That's pretty much how it works.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, So
So
you know,
but you saying that keep the staff there, just fire the head
I
coach.
didn't say that. I didn't say the staff. I'm saying if the coach is gonna be there for 4 or 5 years, 6 years,
You said
7 years, 8 years, you know, give the coaches that are there, get them the opportunity to move up. Like, hey, we fired him. Do you want to stay and coach? I'm not saying all teams do that, but that's one way of going about doing it.
I
That's
got
one
you.
way of going about doing it.
I feel like they definitely need to sit down and talk with the owners. But I think that the Hall of Famers need to get involved.
Mm-hmm.
Both black and white. They need to all sit down and talk at that table and have an honest discussion. And I get it from a owner's point of view. I understand. I can see it through their set of lenses. I'm a billionaire. I'm a tycoon. You can't tell me who to hire. You can't tell me how to run my business. You know, I understand that because there's nobody going to tell me how to run my business. You know, can't nobody just go up in McDonald's and say, "Look, I want from now on just cheeseburgers. Damn the Big Macs."
Mm-hmm.
You just can't come into somebody's organization and tell them how to do it. But because we're living in a society where race exists, that's why we're going through this.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even about the better person for the job, because even if you have a losing season, they still winning on the ownership end. They're not losing a dime. They're not losing 1 red cent.
Them seats still getting filled.
Yeah, and revenues get shared. Revenues get shared because some people fill out stadiums, some of them don't. They still share the revenue. So it's not like if you have a losing season, the owners lose money. If that was the case, they'd really be raising hell about getting good coaches and keeping good players and things of that nature. So it's still they still getting theirs at the end. The knitting that of it all, they still getting theirs at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I think that's why
they definitely had to sit down and talk. Hall of Famers, black coaches. You got some black coaches who have not been coaching, and they're still alive. That's coached years ago. They need to come forward and talk about those experiences. They need to bring the stuff back up, you know, just to bring some transparency to this issue. I mean, I don't watch football like I used to. I still watch it from time to time when I get the opportunity to. I mean, I used to be all in it. I mean, you know, but that's the only thing I see, man. I hope things get better. I mean, because it's a part of American sports. Black folks love football just as much as white people do. You know. On that note, we out. Brown Spade.